It's only a matter of time before that world record goes down. To get to 139, that's going to be a whole nother level.
I wanna see you bring the heat.
Welcome to episode 3 of Trackside. I'm Perdita, Felicien, and always I am joined by the Olympic champion himself. And oh, this is going to be fun. There he is, the latest challenger at the Philly Grand Slam track meet. AB, what's good?
Yo. I'm good. I'm feeling great. Had a good practice today. I'm getting ready for that Philly Grand Slam. I'm a challenger. Vibes are good right now. I'm feeling positive.
I like that. What was on the workout menu today?
Oh, man, we had some block starts and then a 150 and 50-50 going hot. It was really hot weather. You know, it's in the 90s right now, which is converts to about 30s in Celsius. So hot temperature, hot time of the season. I'm bringing the heat.
I like that. You're bringing the heat. Let's bring the people the heat because we have a really huge episode for everybody today. First of all, we caught up with Olympic silver medalist and world champion in the men's 800 meters, Marco Arop. That conversation was like really fun. Also, we are going to break down all things Grand Slam track, the good, the bad, what we like, what we don't like. But first, one of our favorite segments, in or out. But it's Rabat Diamond League, rather. I'm mixing up my track meets. The Rabat Diamond League, that edition, which just happened this past weekend. AB, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it. Let's talk track and field. Let's go.
All right. First up, Fred Kerley and Tebogo both entered the 100 and the 200 meters at that meet. So fans were like, oh my goodness, this is great. Two of the world's best. We get to see them race twice. But get this, Tebogo ended up pulling out of the 200 because of an injury that he got in the 100. So Aaron, are you in or out? Because I know you dabble in this too. Are you in and out on running, these 1 and 2 events in a one-day meet?
Well, I'm definitely in. I have always advocated for doing the double. I feel like the fans should get more opportunities to see the athletes as much as they can on the track. And, it's just about being prepared for it. So he came into the meet knowing that he wanted to double, but then he had a post after the fact saying that he came in nursing a bit of an injury. So the double might not have been the most wise thing to do at this point of the season, but he wanted to go for it. And I commend him for it because I feel like it gives the fans more opportunities to see our stars. And that's what we need in track and field. We need to see the stars more, compete more. I love doing the double. I feel like that makes you more of a complete sprinter. If you can do the double, if you can do the 100, come back and do the 2. Let's see it. Let's see who's actually about that life in that sprint realm. So I've always been a doubler. I love getting more opportunities to run the 100, and I feel like I got kind of typecasted early in my career where I was more so pushing to the 200, and I'm like, hey, what about my 100? I want to run more hundreds. And so anytime I get to double, I'm all for it.
And more money too, just say more money. Okay, moving on.
Exactly.
Christopher Morales-Williams. All right, he's a Canadian. He is our 400 meter specialist. He opened up his season in Rabat, finished 5th though, season's best, 45-16. He made a bold statement in a CBC article written by our Morgan Campbell that came out last week. He said, I could be the first 42 guy. You don't know. I don't feel the limit yet. So Aaron, are you in or are you out on Christopher's confidence and his bold prediction in the infancy of his pro career?
I love it. I love it so much that I wish I could be double in. I'm so in because, Canadians historically have been the humble, nice, easygoing people that just kind of stay in the background, and the bravado has been reserved for more of the American athletes. And I feel like if you feel confident, talk your stuff, man. Put it out in the universe, manifest it. And I love the confidence. He's young. He's had a crazy career up until this point. He's got a world best indoors in the indoor 400 meters. So why can't he think that, hey, I could do this outdoor too? And I wish more Canadians would have that swagger about them and not be afraid to put it out there in the ether and say, this is what I'm finna do. I'm here. I'm gonna make my presence known and just go for it. I love
what's
the confidence.
yours, right?
Exactly,
Take it.
Exactly. Canadians are not to be messed with.
No, we're not. I'm in on this too. I'm totally in on this. Okay, how can we talk about Rabat, the Rabat Diamond League, and not talk about what Beatrice Chebet did? Did you hear? Did you watch? Listen, this race was so out of this world. So get this. She goes to Rabat and no big deal. She drops the second fastest 3,000 meters ever by a woman, a blazing 8:11.56. And by the way, Anything sub 820 at this event is next level. She does 811 and some change. She already has double gold from Paris in the 5,000 and 10,000 meters for Kenya and holds multiple world records. It seems like AB is only a matter of time until she adds that 3,000 meters to her list.
Yeah, you love to see it. She's already got the golds in her repertoire. And she's kind of running carefree now. Once you get that Olympic gold, that the Olympics only come every 4 years. So, once you seize that opportunity, the weight's off. And now you could just go for history, go for those fast times, push to your limit, see how fast you can go. And it seems like she's running with confidence right now. So you love to see it.
Yeah, that's right. I just can't wait till she does it. It's only a matter of time. Only a matter of time.
I wanna see you bring the heat.
Next, we break down all things Grand Slam track, and helping us do that is our next guest. And listen, I am very excited to welcome him. First of all, he's a senior contributor at CBC Sports. He's also an award-winning sports writer, and his new book, My Fighting Family, is nominated for the prestigious Trillium Book Award. And yes, I am bragging because he is my husband, and his name is Morgan Campbell. Morgie, welcome to Trackside.
First of all, you're not supposed to tell people that people in real life call me Morgie. That's just like you and my sister and like one or two other people. Now
My bad, I'm very unprofessional.
Yes, get all these track people. Now when they're mad at me, we're like, you don't know what you're talking about, Morgie. Anyway.
Only I can use that. Leave it alone. Okay, let's get right into it. Let's get Aaron, sorry I pulled you into this. Okay, let's get
I'm
right
definitely calling you Morgie in the interview.
Pretend I said nothing. Okay, speaking of Grand Slam track, I gotta rein this back in. It's had so much impact so far this season. Look, already we've had some blazing fast times. If you think about that women's 100-meter hurdle race in Miami, that was bonkers. But there's also been some really cool storylines, right? If you think of Ja'Cory Patterson, who works nights at UPS, also trains full time and put down a scorching world-leading time, 43.98 in the 4 from Miami. Then you add to all of that, these athletes are getting paid so far some $6 million handed out. So gentlemen, Morgan,
Yes.
I will start with you. If you had to give a grade to GST so far, what would that grade be?
I would give that grade a B. Well, first I would say incomplete because the term's not over yet. Midterm grade, I would give it a B. It's an awesome opportunity to put the sport on the map, on mainstream sports fans' radar. So the fact that they've been able to have these two events so far and sort of adjust on the fly. Again, I give them a B only because there are certain things they had to learn on the fly. So it's impossible to get an A because you can't get it perfect on the fly.
Do we have Simon Cowell or is this Morgie? I mean, pretty tough crowd to give it a B. But
my T-shirt is not tight enough to be Simon Cowell.
True.
I'm gonna give it an A-, man, and that's not just because I'm running in the weekend. I'm running in the meet this weekend, and I want them to be. I want to be in their good graces, but I feel like they've done a great job. I like the fact that they're willing to listen to what the public is saying and adapt on the fly. I feel like I give them a lot of credit for that. They are trying out a new format. Now we have something that brings more stakes for the athletes. So they have a reason to come out here and want to run fast. Like we referenced Ja'Cory Patterson, who ran that 43-second race in the 400 because he's a UPS worker when he's not training. And what other opportunity would he have to make this kind of money that could change the trajectory of his career? But the fact that we have this big money pot on the line gives us a little bit more to look forward to until we get to that World Championships part of the season.
My goodness, listen, you guys have just said so much, and I'm like, one's a hard teacher, one's an even harder, or instructor, I should say. So, okay, so an A- and a B, cool. How about the idea that at the last minute, right before they go from the 3-day format to a 2-day, right? And then also they remove the 5,000 meters. To me, that made some fans really upset. Aaron, is that trouble in the water? Is that a smart move? Is that right? Is it wrong? How do you see it?
I think it's smart. And I think what it is they're listening to the fans and, again, trying to accommodate. Listen, when you have new formats, nobody is going to be perfect. And somebody's going to always be upset. And you can't just go off of the minority. You have to go with the majority in what they're saying. And I think I saw a lot on Twitter or X that a lot of people are complaining about the pace of the long distance races. They're saying that, they're not running until the last lap. And, they're complaining a bit that it was getting a bit too long and it changed pace from the short, more condensed races. And so now they have one race in the long distance section, but that might incentivize them to go a bit faster because now it's a one-off race for $50,000. That sounds pretty good to me.
Two things. One, Aaron said he's been on Twitter, listening to fans. Good for you, Aaron. You are braver and more patient than I am, because two things I don't do are go on Twitter and listen to track fans. And I'm a big fan of track. I'm a big fan of boxing. The thing I know about track fans and boxing is that nobody hates their sport as much as track fans and boxing fans. It does not matter what you do. Somebody's going to complain. If you put pacemakers in the race, then they complain that there's no tactics in the race. All you're doing is following the pacemaker. All you're doing is following the wave light. All you're doing is chasing the record. What we want to see is tactics. Well, guess what? In a distance event, the tactical races are slow. So you have to choose what you want.
So here's the conversation I want to have quickly, or I want to touch on quickly, is the fact that you're asking some athletes, like they're talking about, to double up, maybe in events that they normally wouldn't do, right? So already we know that, Jasmine Camacho Quinn out with injury. We're not going to see her. Oblique Seville as well. And also Masai Russell are not going to be at the future, or at least in Philly, because they're out because of injury. I've always wondered, when you ask a 100-meter hurdler to run the 100 and then the hurdles back to back like that, are you not concerned, Aaron, I'll start with you, with the wear and tear on their bodies because of this?
I think there might be some hiccups right now because people aren't used to it. And notoriously, athletes have been able to choose their schedule. There's no real organization within the sports other than going to your trials and going to the World Championships or the Olympics. You can't really guarantee where an athlete's going to be. But now when you're signed on as a racer in particular, for sure, okay, these 4 meets, they have to run 2 events every time. And so, there's going to be some hiccups and there's going to be some bumps in the road. But I think as the Grand Slam becomes more of a staple in athletes' schedules, they're going to adjust and get used to it.
From a competitive standpoint, the thing I have a problem with is the fact that you could be the best hurdler in the world, but your ability to win a Grand Slam track short hurdles event depends on something that you don't specialize in. And so how can I give this award to the hurdles champion and I call this the hurdles championship, when what makes or breaks a championship is something besides the hurdles. And so this would sort of be like having, who do we think is going to make the NBA finals this year? Having OKC and the Pacers play 5 games in the finals, and then the 6th game is 3-on-3. And then whoever wins 3-on-3 wins the title. I'm like, okay, but it's similar, but it's different. I want to see who's best 5-on-5.
Morgan, you make me proud. Okay, we got to wrap this up. But quickly, I want to know, and AB, I'll start with you. If either of you were commissioner for a day, okay, forget Michael Johnson. Who is he? We don't know. Pretend he's not in charge, but you are. What would each of you add or change? I think you just kind of touched on it a little bit. But Aaron Brown, what about you? And I know you probably have a ton of ideas.
Yeah, I have a lot. A simple one would be to add intro music. I think that's a simple way to add some personality, some flair, and let people know who you are as a person and
song do you
show
got?
your
What
personality
song are you picking? Yeah, what song are you picking?
I'll probably go with like Grinding All My Life, Nipsey Hussle. That's one of the songs I like to listen to in my warm-up. But I think people would expect me to play some Canadian artists, so I'm going to go with some Drizzy. Maybe Nonstop or 9. Those are dope songs as well.
You're not playing Not Like Us. You're not playing Not Like Us. Okay,
no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Shout out to Kendrick. I like both artists, but Drake is the GOAT. Stop playing. But I'm going to put my commissioner hat back on. And I think one thing that I would add if I was commissioner would be to the ability for athletes who are challengers to become racers. So someone like Akeem Blake, who ran the first 2 meets, I feel like if he was able to close out the 200, I know he got hurt, but let's say he came in and he finished in the top 3 again. I would like to see, if you beat someone twice, a racer, you get to take their spot for the rest of the meet. That adds a little bit more stakes, a little more drama to the mix, and I just like drama. I think it's exciting, and adding more stakes other than just running fast times, I think is a good thing. Makes for good TV.
I like job security, and if you sign a contract that you're a racer, you should have that. And if you are healthy, you have that contract. Period.
Fair.
This is why I keep saying track and field. When I first met Perdita back in the day, and she would tell me about track and field, I would say, "Why don't you people have a union? I know you guys need a union." Have somebody just come take my job because they ran well one day.
Aaron likes drama. Drama. Okay,
two. It's got to be 2.
It's got to be 2 days.
Okay. Get your union rep people, because Aaron will take your job. Just joking.
2 meets. You get 2 tries.
Morgan, what do you do as commissioner for a day? What would you change, babes?
as commissioner, I don't know who Babes is. This is Morgan Campbell speaking to you.
I forgot.
Morgan
I forgot.
Babes. I don't know who these
It's
folks
Morgie.
are.
It's Morgie.
Morgan.
But listen, I wouldn't mind some field events. I know it's Grand Slam track. We call it Grand Slam track and field. Or Grand Slam track, but just with the understanding that there's some field. Because one thing, when you get really good long jumpers who really believe in what they can do and are really good at playing with the crowd, like the long jumpers and the triple jumpers, we talk about fan engagement. Like that is part of what they do. And they do that better than anyone else in the sport. Like a sprinter goes out and plays to the crowd and people think they like it, but they also think that person is nuts. Whereas a long jumper, a triple jumper, that is what they do. They get the crowd involved. And so, especially if this meet is taking all day, from a broadcast standpoint, you can cut to the long jump in between. And so those are just off the top of my head, 2 changes I would make immediately.
Okay, we have to leave it there. I think this was like a 45-minute segment. Good luck, Dutra, for editing this one. I don't know, but it was a gold mine. It was great. It was so much there. Thank you very much, Morgan Campbell. Aaron and I were really happy that you came on. I'll see you at home. Bye.
Take care, Morgie.
Happy to be here. See y'all later.
Bye. We are going to keep the Grand Slam track conversation going with a new segment that we are calling Fast Takes, because Aaron, we are sprinters and we like speed. Well, you're the sprinter, Aaron, not me. I'm just sitting down. So we're gonna have 90 seconds on the board, and we're gonna be talking about the upcoming Grand Slam in Philly. First up, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, the women's short sprint is stacked. Okay, you have Dina Asher-Smith, you have Gabby Thomas, you have even your teammate Melissa Jefferson Wooden. Who are the top 3?
Well, I'm always going to go with Melissa. She's been on fire so far, so I'm going to go Melissa 1, Gabby Thomas 2, and Brittany Brown 3. Now, in your neck of the woods, we got the short hurdles section, and Masai Russell's out, but Sydney McLaughlin-Lavroni is in. Does she have a realistic chance to win this section?
Aaron, what kind of question is that? No, she doesn't.
No?
No. Well, the reason I say that is because Tia Jones is in the race. That's why I say that.
Okay.
She just dropped a sizzling 12:19 in Miami. I just don't think Sydney or anybody, Danielle Williams and the rest of them, have anything to say to her. That's just me.
Fair.
Okay, so Andre and you, Andre DeGrasse, that is, are going to be in the race this weekend. I want to know in the men's short sprints, is there going to be a Canadian man in that top section?
Of course, we got to manifest it. So I would love for us both to be in the top 3. And then my other teammate, Kenny Bednarik, he's in the mix too. So I'd love for him to be in the top 3 and round it out, have 2 Canadians, and then my teammate, Kenny. Now, to round it out, we got Marco Arop in the short distance section. He's finished 6th and 7th, respectively, in the 1,500 meters, which is not his strong suit. We know he's an 800 meter guy. But does he have what it takes to get that 1,500 meters, those points, and win the section?
Aaron, you're just setting me up to look like an old, miserable curmudgeon, okay? The old washed-up jock, because I'm going to say no. Because I adore Marco, but I just don't think right now he has the 1,500 meters down where it needs to be, and I don't know how much time we have left. But also Josh Kerr is in the action, and so I don't know if it's going to work. So, no. But why'd you ask me that?
I appreciate the objectivity, but Marco, I believe in you. Let's go. We got this.
Now I look like the bad one. Whatever, Marco. And speaking of Marco Arop, what is not to like about that guy? Seriously, Aaron and I got to catch up with him last week, and I loved the conversation. First of all, we tried to teach him how to trash talk. I don't think he took the bait, though. Marco Arop, welcome to Trackside, my friend.
Thank you, Perdita. Thanks for having me.
Marco, first things first. I see that you're a racer at the Grand Slam track. 2-part question for you, because, Grand Slam, you got to do it twice. You got to run 2 different events. So I got 2 parts for you out the gate. First one, what's your experience like running the 15 and your experience overall at the Grand Slam? And the second part, how you been spending your money, man? I see you're making big bucks. What are you spending it on?
Yeah, the first part, honestly, it's like I just love racing, and getting the opportunity to step up and do the 15. I think it's going to make me a better 800 meter runner. I think in the future that might open up doors in that event for myself. And then the second part, I'm not a big spender, to be honest. So not much has really changed. I'm very fortunate to be in the position I'm in and to be able to earn the money that I have. But I think I just want to keep it the same, and just keep focusing on training and getting better.
So no Cuban link chains, no
Yeah,
Cigars?
no, I
Yeah,
can't.
no
I can't rock it the
Porsches.
same. I wish
Okay.
I could.
Humble Marco, I like it.
I like that. He's investing his money, people.
Yeah,
Okay,
be smart, be smart.
That's right. We like this.
Especially in this economy.
Absolutely.
That's true.
So I've been listening to the Grapevine, and so Josh Kerr, who is the Olympic bronze medalist at the 1500 meters, he has some things to say. I'll be honest, I didn't like all the things he had to say, but however, when you decided to run the 1500 meters as part of the Grand Slam track, he was just like, it's not like running the 800 meters 2 laps so easy, whatever. But then he came back after he saw what you could do, and he changed his tune. Listen to this.
Who the f is teaching you how to run this shit, dude? I don't know who the f is teaching you how to run this, but this is not okay, Marco. Go back to 800.
I think there's a level of respect that I've gained from them, and I just love to compete against those guys. They're just as competitive as I am, and I think they're starting to take notice that my 1500 is getting much better really fast.
Well, let's talk Project 139. I see that your goal is to break the world record, which was held by David Rudisha. I remember watching that race in London 2012. That was one of the craziest races I've ever seen. But that's a very, very lofty goal. I don't doubt you, though, Marco. But
Right.
talk to me about that. What are you thinking there?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think it's been a goal of mine since I've started running. That was the first race I watched. In the event before I did my first high school 800. I just searched up on YouTube 800 meters, and that was the standard. Watching David Rudisha run that world record time inspired me to get to that level, and now that I'm like knocking on the door, it's really cool. It's just a testament to all the work that's being put in. I got to give a lot of the credit to my coaches, because without their belief, I don't think I would be near where I am now. So it's only a matter of time before that world record goes down. To get to 139, that's going to be a whole nother level. So that's the next step.
Count your
Let's
days,
go.
David
Let's
Rudisha.
go.
Count your days, 800 meters. Listen, Marco, there is footage of you on the internet, good footage, okay, of you doing a workout where listen, I don't know how you did this, but you dropped a 48-second 400 meters. Friends were freaking out. You just casually dropped it. Like, yeah, no big deal. So I want to know, are we going to see you dabble a little bit more at 400 meters?
It's really interesting because for me that's just another day at the track. We've there's
Slight
a part in that
flex, subtle
video.
flex.
I'm not trying to flex, but
No,
there's a
no
part
flex,
where
man.
Coach
Come on,
Wood
Marco.
says this is the first race pace workout we've done this year, and like I'm used to seeing those times, in training, but it's really cool to see the reactions, and it just a little sneak peek of what goes on behind the scenes. To run 141 and potentially run faster, we have to be able to run fast paces and like on short recovery. But yeah, I think we might have some more ridiculous workouts coming up soon.
Listen, Marco, you're running with the 1500 meter guys now, and they're brash. You got Jakob, you got Josh Kerr, so you got to talk a little more trash.
Yeah.
Let them
Yeah,
know.
gotta
You
work
got to
on
flex
that.
on them. Like,
Get
this
dirty.
is light
Right.
work. 48 seconds is
Get
nothing.
rude.
By the way, I ran a 4x4 with Marco, and he
Oh, we
split at
did?
45. So, he's got that talent in the 400 meters. But I want to shift gears a little bit, getting a little off the track. Talk to me about this fit, okay? We have a fit check.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Ah.
you like to do a little drip checks at the Grand
Yes.
Slams. And I want to know, are you getting ready for a meet, or is this a Skims photo shoot?
Just a little.
You look
had to
good.
throw something out there for the people. No, I had my friend with me, and he convinced me to put on a bit of a show. I was very, very hesitant on that look, but I'm super glad that he was able to convince me, because
Nice.
same thing. Seeing the reactions was pretty funny.
Thirst trapping on the gram.
This-
I like it.
He really
Just
was.
a little
I'm like,
bit.
is that the cover of Track and Field News, or is that
Right.
the cover of Vogue?
Right.
I
right.
mean,
Oh,
who's
that's
to
hilarious.
say? How many abs a day do you do? I'm just asking. Crunches.
Honestly, there was a point where I was doing it every day. I think that was, a bit too much. Nowadays, we can get by with 3-4 times a week, just to
Wow.
maintain that strength. But we do all this work, and it's nice to be able to show it off a little bit every now and then.
Yeah.
There you
No.
go.
No. You did your thing. You did your thing, partner. You did your
We
thing.
got a new Marco in 2025.
that.
I like it. I like it.
Trash talking, showing
Just a little
abs,
sneak
Yep.
peek, you know.
investing, Marco. We like it. All
Yeah.
right, Marco Arop. We know you don't give everyone your time because it is precious.
so
It is
much.
worth a lot. But we thank you for coming on to Trackside. We'll see you again. Good luck this season, okay?
Pleasure was all
I'll
mine.
see you in
Appreciate
Philly,
both.
Marco.
Yeah, I'll see you soon. That's excited for it.
Man, that was a great interview with Marco. He showed a lot more personality than we're used to seeing. You know, he's notoriously a shy guy, but he's got confidence, and I love it. I love to see it. You know, he's one of the best 800 meters of runners of all time. So it's time to show that confidence and let people see that he's
Yes.
a superstar in the making. And, you know, give him a little bit more of that CMW confidence so that he can show the world what he can do in 2025. And speaking of which, you know, he's talking about his abs, so I might need to get on the protocol. He looked good in that outfit,
too.
you know.
Me
Yeah,
too.
yeah, I like that that fit.
Aaron, it is time for our shout outs. Listen, we both know how hard it is, do we not, to come back from injury, yeah?
Very, very tough. Very tough.
This week, we are shouting out an athlete who did just that. And I know both of us are so excited that he is back and in form. That is Canadian decathlete Pierce Lepage. He's making his return this coming weekend after withdrawing from the Olympics last summer in Paris. Remember that? Herniated disc in his back out. But he'll be back competing alongside Olympic champion Arop Diamond at the 50th Gotzis Hypo meeting May 31st and June 1st. Lepage will be looking to regain his 2023 form, where he and Warner finished 1-2 at the World Championships in Budapest. This is gonna be good. I can't wait.
I'm excited too, and you know, shout out to Pierce. It's definitely hard to be the defending world champion, and then the year where you have the Olympics, it only comes right before years. We know how hard he's been working, and he was primed and ready to go and chase for another top podium spot. And unfortunately, he suffered that injury right before and had to withdraw. And then, you know, what happened with Damien at the games? He was poised to go and defend his title, but unfortunately, he had a mistake, and he had to pull out of the rest of the competition. But both of them get an opportunity to show what they can do, show why they went 1-2 in Budapest, show that Canada can get back to the top of the decathlete podium. And we're a decathlete nation, you know, two of the
Yes, we
best
are.
of all time, you know. So I'm excited to see it. Go get it. Go remind them.
Exactly. And I was just about to say, we need to have them on here to see if they can trash talk. Like, I want to see if they're also like the Olympic champions of trash talk, because I feel like they might be.
Maybe. I don't know. They're both humble guys. They're both
This
very
is true.
nice, polite Canadians.
We
but
can teach.
I think
them.
to get to the top of the podium, you need to have a little trash talk within you. So we're gonna pull it out of them.
That's
You
right.
just need a good interview.
That's right. Pierce and Damien, we can't wait to see what you do next. Okay, we know that Marco Arop will be ready for the next Grand Slam track meet. And Aaron, you better be too, because you just broke the news that you will be also racing in Philly. And of course, we can't wait to see what kind of loot you bring back. Of course, stream it on GEM starting on day 1 at 4 p.m. ET this Saturday, May 31st. All right, the end of another. Hold on, Aaron Brown. If you want some serious salute this weekend, like Marco did, and I need to hold a little something, you know, I need a little loan or something. You got me or what?
You need $1? I'll get you $1.
Cheapo.
I think I can spare that. But you know, I got
Cheapo.
kids. You know, daycare doesn't pay for itself.
You got two
You know,
little
diapers
ones.
add up. You know, I got responsibilities. That's
My
I'm a family
cheap
guy.
co-host. You're a family guy. You're right. You're right.
I'll give you $1. I'll give you $1.
I need $5.
$5?
Where's
I
slam
don't know.
track money?
It's a little,
6
it's a
million.
little steep. It's a little steep.
Oh, okay. You
Let's
know
see
what?
how I do, and let's see how much I can rack up first.
All right, you got to win it first. I hear you. Okay, episode 3 is in the books. That is it for Aaron and I. Aaron, good luck in Philly. Can't wait. Of course, we'll see you every Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern, CBC Sports YouTube channel, Trackside. That's it for us. We'll see you again.